So morning everybody, I'm playing with the ute again. So guys, we're just cruising around town at the moment. So we're doing about 50 k's an hour or 30 mile an hour. And if you have a look at the tacho here, we just cruise around 1500, 2000 revs. It's good. And you get into it, seems to be happy enough. Cruise is good with the 3000. Definitely chews up a bit, feels like it chews a bit more horsepower than the standard stall. But it definitely has better acceleration. So put it on the dyno, it would show a lower power figure. I could feel that when it's going down the road. But it gets up and goes a lot harder. And today's problem that we have is I keep throwing these bloody things. I've thrown 4 times in the past month probably since it's been on the road. And you can probably see that this angle here is not straight with the water pump and the crank pulley. So yeah, I've got to try and figure that one out. But yeah, this is brackets, kind of a mix up of random bits, so try get that sorted. So what I've done, I've put in a washer in there, and I'll probably just back this off a bit and hopefully that will square it up and get it in line with the rest of it. So I've got a belt back on it now, and it's a bit better than it was. It's sort of pretty much in line. It's not 100%, but it's pretty close. I took it for a drive. Seems to work all right. But I have decided that we're going to pull this thing off the road for a few weeks, because there is just, it runs and drives, but it's inconvenient. It is freaking loud. Like, it's too loud. It's just stupidly loud. It's not enjoyable, and it's loud in the wrong spot. Like, it's not loud at wide open throttle, it's just loud everywhere else. It's just an irritating noise. So got to change out the exhaust and a few other things. You can see the marks there where the belt's flown off before. So for my exhaust system that I've got on at the moment, it is 2 Flowmasters that go to over the diff, and they're dumped there. Twin system, 2.5 inch, and it is just, it's too loud. It's making too much sound. So I've decided I'm going to go with a Redback Tri-Flow muffler, I think they call them, or something like that. Still going to keep it 2.5 inch. I'm going to throw them on there, see if it quietens the car down a bit, because like if I want to go drive it for a night cruise or something like that, you just can't do it, because it's taking it home at 9-10 o'clock at night, and it's just making so much bloody noise. And to be honest, it actually doesn't sound that good for a V8. It's pretty poor. I'm also not super keen on getting done by the coppers either, because it is understandably loud for everybody else as well. It's not super ideal for neighbours and all that sort of thing. There's also a few other things I want to address before I put it back on the road again, especially this passenger door. You have a look here. This is all good. It's got holes in it. Rust has been dodgied. Not that I'm probably going to just dodgy it again, but re-dodgy it. Even the front of the door there, I think there's a massive hole in there somewhere. And then even worse, it shows on the outside as well. So you've got bubbling there. That's really bad there. And also the door is, it's pretty wavy. There's not much straightness in it. So we've got to sort that out. That's the worst part of the car. Well, this side of the car actually isn't that amazing either. There's paint chip in here and that sort of thing. So we can sort that out in the meantime. And with this door as well, I'd rather just go find another door and paint it the same colour as the car. But the problem is, bloody HQ doors now, anything that's half reasonable is $500. So I'll probably end up having to sort this unit out. Well, all that crap along the bottom, and probably don't get a good view of it on camera, but it looks pretty second-hand on the car. Because I'm not really looking for a show car or a really top-end car, but I want it to be tidy and I want it to be enjoyable to drive. I don't want it to be a hassle every time, and I don't want things breaking and things not doing what they're supposed to be doing. I want it to mechanically be good, present nice. And it looks all right now, going down the road at 50 metres away doing 60 mile an hour, but there's a few spots that I want to tidy up, so I want it to be a nice cruiser, and I'll be happy with it, how it looks. Doesn't have to be perfect, but just nice, clean, and all the same colour. No rust holes and shit like that. Another problem that I think is pretty urgent that should be sorted before I go putting heaps of Ks on the car is that I think my rear diff pinion angle is not where it's supposed to be. I'm getting a fair vibration if I go anywhere probably above, I don't know, 95 k's an hour. It starts shaking pretty aggressively. it has its spots depending if it's under load or not under load, but I think my my front, the pinion is too facing the ground too much. So got to sort that out as well. Because the diff I have in here is a Ford 8.8 out of a Ford Explorer, and I threw it in here. I probably didn't get everything 100% when I first did it. Way I'm going to probably change the pinion angle is that lowering blocks that I've got there. I've got 2-inch lowering blocks, and I'll probably just shave one side down and change that pinion, make it go that way. So yeah, that should solve the problem. I just got to line it up to be equal angles with the what do you call it, the output shaft of the transmission down there somewhere. I think I may also have a problem with the old carb as well, because what's happening at the moment is you don't really notice it while you're driving. It runs and drives fine, reacts to throttle fine, but it seems, I think it's running real fat, at least at idle it is, and it's doing inconsistent between plugs as well with how much fuel each cylinder's getting. And what I've found as well while I was trying to dial in the idle air mixture screws, I'm getting very, very low vacuum at idle, like about probably 10-11 inches of mercury, and this engine isn't that spicy. It's pretty, it's pretty tame. And also this idle mixture screw, it does change what the engine does, and this one doesn't. If I wind it all the way in, nothing happens. And this one even still lets the engine run when it's only turned out probably a quarter of a turn. So something's not right. So I've probably got something, I think I might have a warped main body or something like that. Fuel's getting somewhere it's not supposed to be. And yes, I've had this carb apart. I've put a kit through it. It's got a new power valve in it, so it hasn't blown that out. Ran it and drove it. Still did it. I pulled it apart again. Went over everything. Everything was how it was supposed to be. But I think that body is warped and it's still acting weird. You don't notice it when you're driving, but I can see on the plugs it's not doing what it's supposed to be doing. If anybody in the comments has a better idea of actually what's going on with this thing, I'll put it below. Might help me out a bit, but I think that thing is not how it's supposed to be. And no, I don't have too much fuel pressure. It is not going over and not coming out of the boosters when it's idling. I don't have any vacuum leaks. Everything is sealed up. So I'm somewhat confused to what it would be. We will probably end up needing to replace these tyres with something a bit better as well, because these 14-inch 205, are they 205/70s or something? Something like that. They don't do a very good job at sticking to the ground with the added horsepower of what we have now. So probably end up going to a wider steel rim of 15 from BCI wheels or something, and put something that's better at sticking to the ground on it. Well, that's it today, fellas and fellettes. That's just a bit of a yarn on what we have to do with the car. Plenty of content to make on it because there's always shit going wrong with it. So until next time, will probably be the exhaust or the fixing the door up. But we'll see you next time.